Asia Pop 40.
Hello, yes, I am Joey, and today here on Asia Pop 40 from the 9th series of British talent competition program, Britain's Got Talent. He came in 6th, but he came in number 1 in our hearts, and it would seem like 6 is our lucky number because 6 years later, we got Calum Scott. Hello, how you doing?
I'm so good. How are you?
I am very well. It's good to have you here. And let's be honest, I mean, it's been 6 years and we spent the last couple of years dancing on our own. So how's everything going on your side?
I see what you did there, Joey. I see what you did there. Yeah, man, it's been so crazy. You know, the last 6 years has been the most incredible adventure of my lifetime. I've got to travel the world and sing my music to people. I've been over to parts of the world I never thought I'd have the opportunity to, and they know my songs already, and they're there to see a Calum Scott show. It's just been one of the most amazing feelings, Joy. I cannot tell you. It's a dream come true.
And it's great to see you being so active. Of course, you spent a good time in the last few months, you know, maybe in solitude, maybe a time for you to kind of introspectively look on the inside. And then now we have a new album that may be the result of that. But I do want to ask, did you release 3 EPs in the year 2021 alone?
No, so what happened was I'd been away for a long time. I'd released my album On the Human in 2018.
Right.
And released my single You Are the Reason in the same year. And so it'd been 3 years since my last release. And so what us at the label wanted to do was to collect songs in little EPs of songs I had previously released, just to bundle them together so that people had like an appetite for listening to Calum Scott again, you know? Yeah. And it was very cool. I had a lot of people saying, oh my God, I never heard this song. I must have missed it on the first album. So that was really cool to reintroduce people to my music. And then we're ramping up now into, you know, getting ready to release the second album. I have Biblical, which is my new single out there in the world. There's so much more things around Biblical to come. It's so exciting. But it's just been amazing to release music again and to go out and do promo and talk to people like you about my music and have people listen to brand new Calum Scott songs. I love it.
Yeah, and so I hear that Biblical was written when you're almost done with recording the second album. Is that correct?
Yeah, so Biblical came to me at a time when we were in a lockdown here in the UK. Yep. It's been a tough time for everybody, right? Everybody has felt the effects of the pandemic. And I was very demotivated. I felt that I was being very destructive with my mental health. I didn't have that support around me that I would normally have. And so I was desperately searching for this song. And my producer, who helped write You Are the Reason, he had sent me this amazing idea. And he's like, listen, I've got this idea. I think it'd be amazing for you. Let's work on it. And he sent me over the demo and I was just like, this is it. This is the one. You know, it spoke to me so deeply about a love that is immeasurable in its magnitude, you know. And I think at a time when we're all separated from the ones we love because of this pandemic, it's very good timing to talk about an immeasurable love, you know. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to release this song, and I feel that this song has probably shown the most growth as well. I sang my little heart out on this song, and because I sang it during the pandemic as well, I think that's why it has that emotion and that power, is because it was, you know, recorded in really awful times, you know. So I've kind of imbued my emotion onto that track.
Yeah, and I think it comes in at a time when we need perhaps faith the most, right? And so using Biblical as a referencing or jumping off point, I think this is a good start to the new second album project. Are you yourself religious?
I'm a very sort of one of those people where I guess I'm a bit more spiritual in the sense that I believe in, you know, karma and good energy, and I believe in all those things, and taking care of yourself and being kind to others and all those kind of amazing traits that we hope everybody will have, right? But I'm very, very respectful of all of the religions. I'm very lucky that I get to go all across the world and witness so many different cultures and religions. And, you know, for me, the song, I can totally understand that the song has religious context for some people, but for me, it was just about that. You know, biblical in the dictionary is immeasurable. You know, biblical proportions. You're talking about stuff that is infinite. And I just think what a beautiful way to describe love is, you know, my love for you. I can't say, oh, I love you this much, because it's like around the world twice, you know, it's that kind of immense kind of love that I just think is so beautiful to put into a song like that.
Yeah, and you know what? You're definitely right, because a good song is like poetry, right? It's how you receive it. So if you're a religious person, you might hear your love for faith. But if you're someone spiritual, you might hear love for taking care of your mental health, of your own personal well-being. And speaking of mental health, you know, unfortunately, we, or more so you, live in an industry where essentially we monetize your emotional swings, right? So of course, taking care of your mental state is very important. I see that you're about to have a very interesting forum online with one Madame Gandhi. Is that right?
Yeah, so we had that conversation last night with an amazing organization called the Mental Health Coalition.
Yeah.
And we spoke very openly about our experiences and our battle with mental health and you know, mine and Madame Gandhi's approach to music regarding mental health. And it was so insightful, Joey. It was one of those conversations that I could have spent the whole night talking about, because it was just it's such an important topic. It's mental health is a pandemic within itself, you know. Everybody feels the effects of, you know, not being able to handle their mental health correctly. And I think, you know, that's something that I'm a massive advocate of. I love to talk about it on my platform. I love to talk about it within my music. You know, some of the songs that have informed this album have been born from, you know, low and high points in my life. And that's, you know, that for me is the real, you know, measure of mental health. You know, you have those low moments, you have those high moments. I'm just trying to inspire hope. You know, if you're in a low place, then it's about getting back up, you know, and carrying on. And there's a beautiful song on the album. I'm not allowed to tell you what it's called, but there's a beautiful song on that album that's coming soon. I will be unemployed, Joey, if I tell you so. But there's this beautiful song that's all about kind of picking yourself up and just carrying on, you know. And I think, you know, rise ashes and becoming a better version of yourself. So that is one song that I'm very excited for everybody to hear too.
Thank you so much for being a champion of mental health, because your music does bring comfort, you know, peace to a lot of people listening to it. But of course, your music also brings a lot of romance to people's life. I got to tell you, Calum, my job is a radio jockey, but also an event MC. And I've hosted so many weddings over the last 5 years that play your music, especially You Are the Reason, as the wedding march song. So how do you feel about that? How do you feel about being, you know, the soundtrack to people's biggest day in their life?
Honestly, Jory, it is one of the most beautiful things. I value it higher than anything else in my career, is being able to take a moment with that couple. You know, two people have decided that they want to listen to my song whilst they dance their first dance or as they walk down the aisle. Those are really special moments in a couple's life. And it just fills me with pride and with honor that I get to share in those moments with people. I was very lucky that about a month ago, I went to a best friend's wedding, and he got married to his best friend, and they played Biblical as their first dance song. And it was just the most gorgeous thing. I was crying, I was swaying with them, and it was just so beautiful. And I'm so lucky that I get to see all these videos all across the world. And I've performed at some amazing weddings in Indonesia and, you know, and all these amazing places across the world with weddings. And I just feel so honored that I get to be a part of that beautiful moment with those guys. Really is.
Which lucky couple got you to sing at their wedding? Because you would be at my top 5 list. if I could get a singer who is of your caliber to sing at my wedding. By the way, since you've been there for someone else's wedding, have you ever thought about your own? Like, have you ever imagined what your own wedding would look like? And can you allowed to paint that picture for us?
I would love to get married, but I am so busy. I just don't have the time. I don't have the time to be worried about rings and a wedding suit and a wedding song. I think that I would. I mean, look. Of course, I'm looking for that right person in my life, and I'm looking for love. But this job is so it's such a massive adventure that I'm so in love with my music, and I'm so in love with what I do, and getting to go to all these amazing countries, and there's a crowd there that are waiting for a Calum Scott show. I'm like, I love my fans too much to marry somebody else and run away with them. I need my fans, so that's who I'm getting married to.
Okay, I get you. So it's that typical saying that you're married to your work. Well, Calum, you keep writing beautiful songs.
Yeah,
we'll keep getting married to your beautiful music.
Thank you very much. It keeps me in a job, Joey. It keeps me in a job.
Okay, so I have a few questions coming from our listeners, actually, fans of yours who want to ask you questions. Sure. So just 3 of them. First one is from Jane and Apple, and the question is, who is your dream collaboration? Have you thought about that?
Oh my goodness. I mean, at the very top of my list is just a kind of new lady on the scene called Adele. She is one of my favorite artists. I absolutely love her to death. She's such an incredible singer. She sings with emotion that makes you feel that you've lived that pain yourself, And I think that because I very much kind of sing from the same place, I think we'd have people in tears for years if me and Adele sang a song together. But you know what, Joey? I'd love to do a song with a male artist. I'd like to sing with somebody like Shawn Mendes or Sam Smith or Justin Bieber, maybe. I'm open to. I mean, let me get on a track with BTS. I don't know.
Okay, I love to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. Sail on over to Asia, please. My goodness. Okay, great answer. Second one is from Ralph, and Ralph wants to ask you about back in 2015. Do you remember what's that first feeling you got when you heard that golden buzzer?
I sometimes go back and watch the audition, and it's a very surreal moment for me because I still find myself the same person that was stood at the side of the stage when I watched my sister audition, and I was so nervous for her, and I was the big brother in the wings waiting to hear everybody applaud and go crazy for her. And then when she didn't get through, as I walked on stage, I had so many emotions because I was like, well, I hate the fact that Simon Cowell has made my sister cry. I hate the fact that my sister hasn't got the result she wants. But then similarly, I want to go out and impress that guy too. So I was like battling with all these emotions. So when I went on stage, I literally got lost in the music. I forgot about all the cameras. I forgot about the audience. I forgot about the judges. And I just went inside my mind and I just sang with everything just here, And I remember when I finished the song, there's that big note at the end. And so I sang that note, and then I took a breath and I was like, and then I turned around, and then when I looked back at Simon Cowell, he was stood up and he went to press the golden buzzer. I was like, this isn't happening. And then as soon as he pressed it and all the gold started coming down, I was just like, I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't understand what had gone on. Like, I've got the golden, like, what? Like, now I'm through to the live, like, what? Like, and then I was just like, I wanted to hug my sister because that to me was the only anchor back to real life. And as soon as I hugged my sister, I'm saying in her ear, what's happening? This isn't real. And it was just one of the most incredible feelings, Little did I know that would be the stepping stone to the rest of my career, But it was probably one of the best feelings I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, I think the best way to put it is that the emotional heights that you reached at that moment was biblical. We could play with this the whole day, by the way.
There you go.
That you chose this word for the next single. And by the
You've
way,
done it again. I love these puns, man. I love these puns.
to remind everybody, Calum was working in the human resources department in a small city in the corner of East Yorkshire. So for him to go from there and then having, changing people's lives, right? So that's got to be the most enjoyable thing for you.
Little did I know that I would go on to do the things I've done. Considering I came from an office job where I'd be sat there, I'd be typing away on my desk, and I would hate the job that I was doing.
Yeah.
And music was just a hobby and a passion for me. And then, when I had that audition, the UK specifically just erupted, and I had the world, I had the UK at my doorstep. And that was a very overnight change. So that was quite difficult for me to deal with, because what I remember, Joey, I put on my social media, just before the audition went live, I put, me and my sister are going to be on Britain's Got Talent, you should tune in, it's going to be really cool. I had 3 likes on that post. One of them was my mum, and 2 of them were my other friends. And then when the audition went live on TV, my phone was just off the hook. Really? Like notification after notification. It was like 20,000 notifications by the end of the night. I was just like, what is going on? And so it was really tough to get my head around it, because like you said, I was just in this corner of the world, and it's taken a long time for me to actually step into this role, as a music artist, as somebody who takes this, I have to stand up and be a music artist. I can't just be Calum from Hull anymore, I've got to be, the guy that steps up. So it's taken a while to get to this point, but I've never felt more Calum Scott than I do right now. And that for me is very exciting.
That is great to hear. That is great to hear. Okay, one last question, and this one comes from Geraldine. And I did explain to Geraldine that because we're on Zoom and because you're not in your performing elements, that this may not be possible. But Geraldine's wondering if she could hear you sing a line from You Are the Reason.
Oh, Geraldine, you hit me straight in my heart. How can I not?
Oh, gosh.
I'd climb every mountain and swim every ocean just to be with you and fix what I've broken. Oh, 'cause I need you to see. Geraldine is the reason.
Oh my God! Thank you, Calum. Thank you. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. How can we not love you when you do that for your fans? And of course, everybody, we have a new single coming from Calum Scott. It's called Biblical. And of course, there is an album, his second album to follow. Wait for it patiently, but I'm sure there's going to be more coming from Calum Scott. And Calum, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here today.
Thank you, Joey. Thank you to all your listeners. Thank you to everybody who has supported me. I can't wait to come back and perform for you. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Calum Scott, and you're listening to Asia Pop 40.
Asia Pop 40.